All right, so in today's video, we're going to be looking at a dream that was sent in, and it is worth noting that this dream is actually an instructional dream. So it is a God dream. So let's get started with the interpretation. So this dream started here. I was at an old childhood shop where I used to frequently buy things from. I entered and stepped in line and finally got to the counter. I took out an R20 and asked to buy lollipops because at this shop, their lollipops and sweets are mostly behind the counter. So I asked how much for each, and the person said 50 cents. The number I asked for in total, I forgot, but I asked for the red lollipops the most, then orange, then yellow. Okay, so there's a lot of details in this dream right from the get-go. Now, it is worth noting, I did have to look up what R was, and that actually stands for, I'm pretty sure, Rand in South Africa. So she did have essentially like 20 bucks, but the candy that she was buying cost 50. Now, what does the candy symbolize? As mentioned here, she said that she was in the shop. She wanted to buy lollipops, so that was the objective here. Now, the first thing that she wanted was red lollipops. That's what she said. That's what she stated. She said, but I asked for red lollipops the most, then orange, and then yellow. Now, what the lollipops signified were gifts from Holy Spirit. Now, if we continue here, it then says, then I put all of the lollipops in my blue bag. Now, it is worth noting specifically right here that she does state that she also bought sweets, but that's not really the focal point here. That's not really the important aspect here. That's why she really remembered that she bought the red lollipop, a bunch of red lollipops, orange, and then yellow. So what also that signified too, I should also state, is giftings. But the one that she was mostly focused on was the red one. Now, then the dream continues and it says, I bought the sweets. I also don't know how much or how many. Then I exited, then headed my way to where I can get a taxi. As I was walking, there was clothing shop right across, and there was like a construction happening, and there was a hole. It seemed as though something was going to be explored, so I passed by very quickly because right before that construction site, that's where I had to catch a taxi. So like in South Africa, taxis are actually minibus taxis where they carry multiple people at once. And the first taxi was full, so I had to go to another one right behind it. Okay, so lots of things are happening. So let's break it down. So the first thing that she essentially states is that she walked by a construction zone. So what Holy Spirit shows me right there is that as her walk of her realizing what her gifts are, she just acquired her gifts as she's walking towards the minibus. Now, of course, minibus here, what it's actually symbolizing is her ministry, her starting her ministry. As she was walking towards that, she saw construction sites. Again, construction site signified her growing her relationship with God. There was a huge hole there. That symbolized a trap. So she needs to be very careful in this stage of her walk with the Lord in her life that, she really has to be careful with any traps that may hinder her progress to actually figuring out what her gifting are, what her giftings are, and also actually accomplishing what her ministry is. Now let's continue here. The first taxi was so full, so I had to go to another one right behind it. And by that time, I took 2 red lollipops to eat at once. So this is her basically trying to use her giftings. So again, lollipops signified gifts, and it's also really funny that she specifically got 2 red lollipops because that was the one that she was really focused on. I entered the second one, so that's the other thing too. Let's go back because again, there's a lot of details in this. The first taxi was full, so I had to go to another one right behind it. So what this symbolizes is that obviously she's not ready to actually start her ministry, but she's going full throttle. She's trying to get there. She's trying to use her gifts and go over there. But the issue is, and this is what I'll tell you right now, is that it seems to me that she still has to grow her relationship. That's why when she passed the construction zone, she still has a long way to go to the top. And also, we're going to get to more information here, so let's continue. I entered the second one, so the second taxi, and it started moving. And as I was trying to find balance, I pinched a woman, and she was kind of upset. I sat down in front of this woman between these 2 ladies who were making light of the situation, saying that I didn't have long nails to have pinched her, and it was probably the lollipops. So the lady on my right took my hand and put it in hers, and I felt so much warmth in her hands. Then she said if I wanted to have long nails, I had to go to the nail salon, and the nail technician would tell me to first grow my own nails to show determination. So I'm going to stop it right there because again, there's so many details and I don't want to miss anything. But as she pinched the lady, she sat down, and then there was 2 ladies that were kind of just making fun, right? Those are kind of a representation of people, right? Demonic spirits that are going to try to hinder you. So those 2 ladies were kind of laughing like, oh, look at your nails. They're not long enough to pinch anybody. You failed. And the reason that they're saying that she failed, that couldn't have been her, is mostly because, again, what she was doing on the bus was trying to use her calling. She was trying to use her giftings to, you do her ministry. But the issue here is that obviously she hasn't grown her relationship. And that's the symbolism for the long nails, right? That's what the ladies were like, look at this lady. She doesn't have long nails. She couldn't have pinched you. No way. And sure enough, the other lady that got pinched, she was actually kind enough to grab your hand, and kind of you felt a lot of warmth. And she said, you need to go to the nail salon and actually grow your nails and show determination that you can. Now, it is worth noting that this is all just symbolic of her doing her ministry, especially when she said, I wanted to have long nails. If I wanted to have long nails, I had to go on the nail salon, and the nail technician would tell me first to grow my own nails to show determination. Then I asked her, how long should I make them? Not that I wanted them, but I was curious. Then the lady said, as long as I felt or I wanted. The lady had reasonable nails. They had this pearl look and shine on them. The lady on the left didn't speak as much. So again, this is all symbolic for the nail growth, was her growth with God, right? This was her relationship with God. She still needs to grow before she can actually do her ministry. Right now, it seems, just from all of the indication here, what Holy Spirit is really trying to tell this person that had this dream is you need to grow your relationship before you end up doing your ministry. And that was the whole symbolic with her suggesting that, hey, you need to go to the nail salon, you need to grow them and show that you have determination before you do this. The other important detail as well that I should mention is that the other lady that was giving her this advice, when she looked at her nails, she saw that there were pearly white, right? There was pearls in them. So they look fabulous. So if anything, the lady that she was actually talking to was kind of an example as where she needs to be in her relationship with God to continue on to do her ministry. What this whole thing is actually saying is that this person, obviously, before she gets ahead of herself and starts doing her ministry, her calling and what God has called her to do, she obviously needs to do a lot of growth in her relationship with God. As soon as that happens, she'll get to know how to use her giftings, because we all have gifts, right? We were all born with gifts. As soon as she grows her relationship with God, she'll know exactly what her giftings are, and she'll be able to fulfill and do her ministry. And so that's what this whole dream is. Holy Spirit is essentially trying to tell this person that you need to grow your relationship with God. So yeah, very phenomenal instructional dream. There was a lot of details, and we're just gonna finish off the dream, and then we'll see if there's any more details. The lady on the left didn't speak as much, and by then, I no longer had 2 lollipops when I was speaking to the ladies. Yeah, so right there at the end just shows that she still needs to grow a lot of growth before she can start using her gifting. So that's just a reiteration of what was essentially happening throughout the whole dream. So yeah, please help with this dream. Your efforts will be greatly appreciated. So yeah, thank you so much to this person that sent me this dream. I hope that this has given you insight on what Holy Spirit was actually showing you through this dream, through this instructional dream. And as always, if you guys have a dream that you guys are having trouble, getting the interpretation of what Holy Spirit is trying to show you, feel free to send it to me at my email, which is dreaminterpretation2020@gmail.com. And yeah, we'll have a look at it and we'll actually discuss it on Dream Interpretation Thursday. Anyways, thank you so much everyone for watching, and God bless.